How's it going, folks? Uh, Sherman back uh, relatively quickly. uh, yeah, there was a thread going around probably 2 months ago, maybe more, 3 months, about 21st century albums. And I thought about doing something at the time, but yeah, I lost the motivation pretty quickly. And I recall seeing local bandography and digital gramophone uh, partaking in this thread. Uh, yeah, but I wasn't quite sure how to do it because I have a little bit of everything from this current century. Uh, but after this last video I did, the Teodros Avery, which is a newer album. Yeah, I've been thinking about it and thought, yeah, what the hell? Let's do some 21st century jazz albums. So at first I thought about doing a flip video of all my 21st century jazz records. And I thought, yeah, this is a long time. It's going to take up a lot of space on the floor. I have more than I realized. So I've narrowed it down to 21 21st century jazz records. And I'll try not to go on too long about this stuff. But yeah, so we'll get into this. I picked out 21. They're right here. Let's see how it works. The first thing is what's playing now. And this is an album that came out earlier this year in 2025, February or March, of a live show, or of some live shows recorded in middle 2023. And I'm fortunate enough to have seen one of these shows that's part of this record. The Ancients is what they call it, with William Hooker, William Parker, and Isaiah Collier. Collier is the youngest of the trio. But they played a couple shows in LA back in May of 2023, which I went to with Alex at Diamond Marimba. And I guess they had like a mini West Coast tour, because part of this is recorded in LA and part of it is recorded in San Francisco a couple nights later. So what we're listening to here is the first side of this, which was recorded at the show that Alex and I went to. And it was a great show. I mean, these guys, William Hooker, I think at the time was almost 80, playing the drums. And man, I mean, you can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. The guy was just on fire, and the whole trio was on fire. Parker on bass, Collier on saxophone, but they all played various percussion instruments. I think at one point William Parker played some sort of wooden flute. And yeah, it was a phenomenal show at this little place. I don't remember exactly where it's called. Does it say on here? I mean, all it says, there are no song titles on here. It's just the dates of the recording. So side one was recorded on May 12th, the night we went to that show. And then May 13th, and the next night is on side 2 and 3, and the last side is from a set in San Francisco. But yeah, phenomenal show on the Aramite label, double record, excellent stuff. And then we'll go to, I have a trio of records here on the Kindred Spirits label. First is this Build an Ark, and this came out, I think, in 2009. This is a collective out of LA with Carlos Nino. Maybe people are familiar with him. He's a local DJ, or he was a local DJ. I'm not sure if he still is. But yeah, there's some names on here: Mark Maxwell, Miguel Atwood Ferguson, Nate Morgan, some Nimbus people. Durf Reclaw, which I showed in the last video, talked about his version of Olé. Yeah, this is a really nice Kindred Spirits, Dawn. There's some vocals on here. There's this is one of these albums. It's a double album, but it really could have fit on one record because each side is about 10 or 12 minutes. But it's fine. It's a great cover. But it's got some vocals. It's very spiritual in the vein of Alice Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, John. Yeah, excellent stuff. Dawn, Build an Ark. And this Gideon Van Gelder, Perpetual. I'm not sure, this is on Kindred Spirits. I'm not sure who Gideon Van Gelder is. I have no idea if he's any relation to Rudy Van Gelder. I don't know where he's from. I found this a few years ago at a shop, used, real cheap, maybe $5 or $6. Yeah, I thought, what the hell? And he plays piano, but there's a voice on a couple of songs, kind of wordless, and tenor saxophone. I don't know any of these musicians. Becca Stevens on voice, Lucas Pino on tenor sax, Lars Dietrich on alto, Nick Rosato bass, and Boon Van Hemmen drums. Like I said, I don't know any of these, but this was recorded in New York City in 2009. This is a nice, just kind of plaintive sort of feel to it. Yeah, Kindred Spirits. I'm sure this is still cheap. Really nice, just kind of, I don't want to say ambient because it's not ambient, but it's in that sort of mold. Gideon Van Gelder. And if anyone knows who he is or what his story is, say that, let me know. And the one comp I have here is this dedication, The Myth Lives On, Sun Ra compilation of Sun Ra songs by current artists, or at least at the time. I think this was also released in 2009. Kindred Spirits, I don't even know if they're still around anymore. I think they might be defunct now. But they put out some really, really good stuff. Reissues, modern, current things. But yeah, this Sun Ra comp, you have Carlos Nino's on this again, and Build an Ark. I think the songs on this album were recorded specifically to create this dedication album. Anyone else that might be known? Building our colors. Theo Parrish does Saga of Resistance. Jimmy Tenor. Oh yeah, Finnish guy, right? Jimmy Tenor does some stuff on here. Yeah, this is a really nice, like, even though it's different people doing different songs, the flow of this is really nice. It flows like you wouldn't think it's a comp, even though there are a number of different artists on here. Yeah, the myth lives on. I found this real cheap too. Probably around the same time as the Gideon Van Gelder. And so we got this, Bobby Bradford, Hafez Mordizadeh, Mark Dresser, Alex Klein, live at the Open Gate on the No Business label. This was recorded at the Center for the Arts, Los Angeles. March 3rd, 2013. This is a pianoless quartet with Bobby Bradford playing cornet, Mordizadeh playing alto sax, Dresser bass, and Alex Klein drums. This is a fabulous record on the No Business label. And I think, I don't think it was 2023, it was 2024. Alex and I also saw Bobby Bradford perform in Pasadena, California last year. Was it last year? It's funny, the William Parker feels like it was last year, but it was 2 years ago. Maybe the Bobby Bradford was last year. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, excellent stuff. No Business label, 2013. And oh yeah, I have a trio of records here. I tend to play these, like if I think about playing one of these records, then I think every time I've thought about playing any one of these records, the other two follow, because they all have the same sort of vibe. They all have some electric guitar. The guitar playing is off the charts, I feel like. And the first one is a Tribal Ghost with John Chakai, Charlie Colenhouse, Garrison Fuel, Cecil McBee, and Billy Hart. This was recorded February 9th and 10th, 2007 at Birdland, New York. This is, again, No Business label, same as the Bobby Bradford. This is, I remember when I first got this, whenever it was, it came out, I constantly listened to this. The guitar player, Garrison Fuel. I know he was on some other John Chakai stuff. He was a regular John Chakai's band at the time. Man, his guitar playing is outstanding. And yeah, this whole thing, they're all locked in. Birdland, 2007, Tribal Ghost. And then the other thing that I always think about that falls in line with it is this Joshua Abrams Cloud Script, 2020 on the Rogue Art label, with Ari Brown from The Awakening, Elvin Jones, Gerald Cleaver, Jeff Parker, and Joshua Abrams on bass. This is the only, I have a couple of Rogue Art CDs. This is the only Rogue Art LP I have. And it's awesome. I love how it is. I think this is like $20 maybe I got this for. And this is the kind of record where there's certain records I buy now that are new that I feel like, okay, if there was never a vinyl revival. if if records just never went away and just kept going on the trajectory that it had been, records would be like this. Nice presentation, good quality, $20. But somehow, well, not somehow, the CD age just messed everything up as far as that's concerned. So now it's gotten to the point where everything is either a specialty thing, or if it is more of a regular LP release, I feel like people look at it as undesirable. But this is excellent. Jeff Parker, again, the same thing with the Tribal Ghost. I love John Chakai and how he plays reeds, but the guitar player on this, Garrison Fuel, Jeff Parker, they drive these records. And the same with this one. The only 21st century ECM record I have is this Andrew Surreal, La Baroba. Wadada Leo Smith on trumpet, Bill Frisell on guitar, and Surreal plays drums. So it's drums, guitar, and trumpet. Very unique. And this was recorded in 2017. And Frisell drives this again. And I have had some 21st century ECM stuff on CD. And this is the only album I have, or record I have. I gotta say something about ECM. Through their 50-something year history, somehow they managed to just hold on to constantly capture this sound that's associated with them as a label, the ECM sound. I mean, this is pure ECM, 2017. But at the same time, it doesn't feel old. There's a freshness to it. It's got that, what people know as the ECM sound. And a few others here. I'm gonna just take out a few at a time. I know the From Rivers to Ocean, Fred Anderson came out a couple years ago, but this one, this duets with Robert Barry, 2001. That was recorded in 2000. I think this record came out in 2001. Drums, saxophone, Fred Anderson. Oof. I don't even know the words. He's one of my all-time favorites. Drums, duet, or drums, saxophone duets. This isn't really in the line of like the Coltrane, Rashid Ali, or Rashid Ali, Frank Lowe. It's not as hard driving necessarily as those albums. I guess this is more not melodic, harmonic in a sense. The way Anderson plays and just the pacing of things is very mid-tempo. But yeah, 2 long tracks on each side. 3 long tracks on each side. Yeah, this is excellent and cheap. I see this around kind of regularly, which I'm not sure why. But it's always cheap, $10, $12 on the Thrill Jockey label. And this one I probably have talked about before. Is this? I didn't know anything about this, but I saw this a number of years ago at a slash price, Bast Bazaar. And I don't know, this is on the Ubiquity label. I don't really know anything about this Bast. but from what I can kind of gather, they're out of LA. And this is double album uh, in the vein of, I mean, for lack of a better term, is spiritual jazz business. I want to make a video about what is this spiritual jazz business. But yeah, I mean, it's like Pharoah Sanders ish, that whole like early 70s, Sanders, the Coltrane influences at the time, Billy Harper, yeah, double album, excellent stuff. This is very moody, very, I almost want to say soulful, even though, I mean, there might be a certain connotation there, but yeah, I mean, it's very just gutsy, to the roots, bossed. And again, I wish I could tell you more about this, but I really don't know. Looks like there's about 12 players on here, but it doesn't, most of these songs doesn't sound like there's that many players. It's kind of minimal, even though there are a lot of players on here. And yeah, another one, I remember getting this when it came out at the time without really knowing much about it. And a lot of these albums I get, put away, listen to, put away, and then I kind of forget about, with the exception of some things that might stand out. This Angel Bat Dawid, I guess this is her first album, The Oracle, out of Chicago, on the International Anthem album, and this is my introduction to the International Anthem album. Celestial psalms, spiritual jazz, experiments, and homemade hymns captured in everyday music memos by one woman chorus of clarinets, voices, vessels, and keys. So she does everything on here. I think there's might be a percussionist on here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, excellent stuff. This is rootsy, but also kind of space agey, if that makes any sense. Angel Bat Dawid. 22 minutes. Wow. Okay. I am going to take this record off the turntable, and it's good timing because the next record is what I was thinking to play in this video. All right, you know what? I'm gonna put on side 2. Whoa. It's kind of late night. I'm a little sluggish. So what I just put on is this record, Misha Panfilov Septet. I have an album of his, or Penza Penza was the group I got. Live. This is live in Stockholm and Talent. This is, I mean, you're gonna hear Septet. Side 1 was recorded in Stockholm, side 2, Tallinn. And Panfilov plays guitar, lap steel, and percussion. So you have bass, drums, piano, flute, trumpet, tenor, sax. And the horn players also double on percussion. This is a fantastic album on Funk Night Records. This is from Dusty Groove. Less than $20. And most of these albums, these 21st century albums, I've gotten because, it's all circumstantial. I just kind of see them. I don't pay attention really to what's going on, but I still want to keep a finger on the pulse of what's happening. So I just, I see things and I thought, okay, this might be interesting. And a lot of these are from Dusty Groove because I don't see much of this stuff in the stores around here, or at least lately, maybe a number of years ago. I want to make sure this doesn't go too long. Joe McPhee and Chris Corsano, Scraps and Shadows on the Roratorio label, 2012. Drums, saxophone, Joe McPhee. I mean, what more is there to say about Joe McPhee? Chris Corsano, of course. Doesn't have a specific recording date, but yeah, all these songs are for certain people. For Fred Anderson, for Adrian, for Jim Pepper, for Muhammad Ali, for Kid Jordan, Han Bennett. Yeah. Excellent free kind of stuff, but still manageable to the ears. Lloyd Miller and the Heliocentrics. I don't know if this is the title, OST, but I think that is referring to something. Yeah, this is a double on the Strut label, and it came out in 2010. Excellent stuff. Lloyd Miller, he goes back. He studied Persian music, and so this is a common. The Heliocentrics are modern, sort of funk, jazz outfit, and I'm not sure how they got together with Lloyd Miller or what the story is behind it, but yeah, this is awesome stuff. Miller plays stuff like the oud, these ancient instruments, along with modern kind of funky jazz, electric piano, electric bass, things like that. Yeah, awesome stuff. This I got from a few years ago as a gift from Michael, Notes and Tones. Roscoe Mitchell with Mike Reed, The Ritual and the Dance. Another drums, saxophone record. And am I mistaken? Yeah, this is Roscoe Mitchell's artwork. Yeah, Art Ensemble Chicago, of course. And each side is one long song. Side one is The Ritual, side two is The Dance. This is hearty, to the bone kind of stuff. And there they are. What year is this from? This is another great label, along with International Anthem. This Astral Spirits is a fantastic label. Yeah, it doesn't have specific. Oh no, October 22nd, 2015, in Antwerp, Belgium. Yeah, Roscoe Mitchell. He's still putting stuff out. There's some other things he's put out I'm interested in. Steve Reed Ensemble, Daksar, Recording Africa. This is from 2007. Is that it? There's another one of his. 2007. There's another one of his I have, the blue cover. I'm blanking on the name. With a lot of these same players. Kieran Hebden I think he's his main conspirator on a couple of records in the 2000s on keyboards or electronics keyboards. Steve Reed, and there's percussion, kora, trumpet, guitar, keyboard. And these were recorded in January 2027 in Senegal. Yeah, awesome stuff. A great mixture of just electronic sounds with ancient, otherworldly type instruments. Yeah, Steve Reed. Let's just get through all of these. Wide Hive Players. I'm not sure where they're from. It might be New York. And they did an album with Larry Coryell, I know. This one is with Calvin Keys, the guitarist. He has a couple of albums on Black Jazz that have been reissued in the last 5 years or so. This is really great. You have a full-on band with Calvin Keys, saxophone, trombone, drums, Hammond B3, bass, keyboards. This is kind of in the vein of, does this seem too loud? This is kind of in the vein of the Grant Green stuff he started doing in the late 60s, early 70s, that kind of just grooving, soulful, hard driving stuff. Green was doing on like Live at the Lighthouse, Carrying On, Green is Beautiful, things like that. It's kind of like that, but Calvin Keys definitely has his own style and tone of playing. Let's see if I can get 5 more. I can get through these in like 3 or 4 minutes. Eabs. EABS. This is a group out of Poland. This is one I saw maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't know anything about it. Again, I still don't know anything about it. About this group, Eabs, on the Astigmatic label. Poland. This is like electric jazz. There's some electric instruments going on, but you got saxophones, trumpet, bass, electric and acoustic, drums, beat machine, whatever that means, acoustic piano, electric piano, synthesizers, and there's a rap on here, a short rap. What's the song? Ain't No Mercy. Yeah, they're Polish, sings in English. I mean, this is one of these things I feel like whenever I put this on, I feel like I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it's good. It's really good. But how to describe it? Yeah, I know they have some other albums. And there's this quote on the cover: "All these worlds are yours except Europa. Attempt no landing there." Yeah, Eves 2061. And I love this like future noir look of the cover. Yeah. Eves. So there's that. And this I got early this year. Again, I didn't really know what it was. It was on Dusty Groove. It was a slash price. The cover struck me. This is Georgia Mesfine, The Kindest One. And this is recorded in 2007 in Atlanta. But Georgia Mesfine is, I don't know if he's actually from Ethiopia or first generation Ethiopian American. but this is in the general vein of Ethiopian jazz, Mulatu, and I think this was recorded or released originally on CD at that time, 2007, maybe 2008, but this LP version came out a couple years ago. There's another one I put on, and I just melt away. It's just so good and so hypnotic. You have saxophones, percussion, a little bit of accordion. I've actually become more open to hearing the accordion in recent times. Electric bass, acoustic bass. Yeah, really, again, whirling, hypnotic stuff. Yeah, the kindest one. Georgia Mesfin. And there's the insert. Ooh, really good. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, I like taking chances. Good way to deal with the realities of life. Take some chances. Like I took a chance on this. I was in San Diego earlier this year, and I remember seeing this online, probably Dusty Groove. I didn't get it, but then I saw it in person, and this is Will Lachtinmacht. Will Lachtinmaki. He plays bass clarinet on this, and this is a trio out of Finland. Bass clarinet, bass, and drums. And this is really, really excellent for a trio. There's these kind of expansive solos going on by the bass clarinet, the bass, there's a drum solo, not that long, but I don't mind drum solos. I actually like drum solos from time to time. But yeah, this is highly recommended. I don't know what else Ville Lachtinmachti has out. I haven't looked into it, but I should. Yeah, really excellent. They look like kind of younger guys. Yeah, so that's good. And two more. Out of England. I got this a few years ago. Again, Dusty Groove. They had a handful of these albums by Ill Considered, and I didn't really know who they were, but I decided to take a chance on one. This is live at the Total Refreshment Center in London. It's England somewhere. It might be London. 2018. Fabulous. The saxophonist on here is Idris Rahman, who's from England, and he's on a couple more albums I have. This Wildflowers thing. Is he on the Yusef Kamal? I can't remember. But this Ill Considered live at the Refreshment Center. Again, this is in the vein, this is a quartet in the vein of Coltrane. Coltrane's influence, man. So yeah, you have saxophone, bass, drums, and an extra percussionist on here. Again, outstanding, great cover art. A lot of their covers look like this. And when I got this at the time, when I ordered it from Dusty Groove, after I got it, I thought, oh man, this is so good. I want some more of their stuff. And even though they had maybe 2 or 3 other albums of theirs, by that time, I wanted to get something else those albums were gone. I haven't seen him pop up anywhere. I don't even. Sometimes these things are difficult to figure out what actually is the label. Might be their own label. But yeah, excellent stuff. And then this is another Idris Rahman project, live at Cafe Otto with some legends from Japan, Masahiko Sato and Tokio Moriyama, live at Cafe Otto. This is a double, and Sato plays drums, Moriyama plays piano, Rahman plays saxophone, and Leon Pritchard on bass, who I think is also part of this whole London scene. I think it might be on that Ill Considered too. Leon Pritchard? Yes, he's on bass on this one. Excellent stuff, double album. On the BBE label, great quality of this pressing, kind of textured cover. Yeah, long tracks, just more swirling lines. And as far as like jazz goes of this 21st century business, there are sometimes I hear this stuff and I think, like I've had some Nat Birchall albums, and he's fine. But the albums I had, to me, I feel like, okay, I would rather just hear a Coltrane record because it's so replicating Coltrane. I'd rather hear his stuff. I have a Matthew Hall song. Yeah, I guess I'm going over. This Matthew Hall song in the Gondwana Orchestra, When the World Was One. This is a double. This is nice. It does have a feeling of things like Pharoah Sanders, Coltrane, but there's a little, just something to it that I feel like, okay, this is his own. But there's some 21st century jazz I don't feel that with, that this is their own thing. Like I've heard, well, I don't want to get into stuff I'm not into. So, and it's 43 minutes. So yeah, 21 21st century jazz albums, just based on what I showed. If anyone has any other recommendations, feel free to let me know. And this is Misha Panvalov Septet. Man, this is good. There's some aspects of this that are like the late 70s Sun Ra stuff, Sleeping Beauty on Jupiter, that kind of thing. But yeah, man, this is... I've had this maybe 3 or 4 months, and I've probably listened to it 25 times. Yeah, really good. All right, everyone, take care.